Hello, my name's Emmanuel, and I will be doing a comparison in careers between fabric and trim buyers and costing and ordering process coordinators. So to start off, a fabric and trim buyer is responsible for sourcing and purchasing seasonal fabrics, determining fabrics for sampling and production orders, and responsible for trim buying and ordering, and maintaining a routine raw material inspection. We always want to go over the raw material inspection specifically for the manufacturer's purposes, because if it's not up to standard or quota, it's best to always find a different manufacturer that can fit the needs for the brand or company. So pretty much a little background. What are trimmings? Trimmings are decorated components designed to be seen on the final product. So if we look at a pair of a stylish skirt, an exposed zipper would be a example of a trimming. Also, little buttons and little button decals also on the garments would be considered a decal or a trimming, sorry. Same for the little buttons that I have on my shirt here. Now, a qualification for a fabric and trim buyer, you would need a bachelor's degree or higher, and usually the degree would be impacted in business, finance, accounting, or supply management, also within fashion merchandising. So there are a lot of helpful traits for you to be a very good fashion and trim buyer. Such would be your detail oriented. So for this position, you would have to have a very keen eye, understanding product development. Now, this is where fashion retailing, marketing, merchandising, and all of the sorts do come into play. You do have to know how to construct the garment itself for you to have the adequate knowledge of what trims and fabrics to purchase, and also having great communication skills and negotiating with contractors and vendors. Great communication is essential because you will be communicating with international clients at least one time in your career path, and there will be a language barrier. So you will need a very strong sense of communication to be able to negotiate in those type of situations. All right, and then in work experience, usually there are internship opportunities for a new college graduate to get their foot through the door. If you are out of college and you are going through jobs, usually you'll see people that have been employed in design or in manufacturing to be in these positions, to kind of develop into these positions, since they are already within the realm of understanding where their manufacturers are going to be located and what they're looking for in certain aspects of design. And usually promotions are also really big qualification in the work experience aspect, because it's usually coming from an assistant buying position. So then taking over as the fabric and trim buyer, you have that quintessential knowledge to continue the craft. And then here's a little video. I will be skipping the video at the moment just for time purposes. However, this goes really great into detail on how to source fabrics and trims, what to look for, and different little tips and little bits of knowledge for you to gain access to as you develop these products in your product development stage. All right, so challenges to face as a trim and fabric buyer. You must maintain a routine communication between vendors, tracking and supply, and delivery. It's a very high stress and critical time position. If there are any delays within product shipment or just between vendor and ordering, there can be a lot of delays in the further aspects of the process, such as production and maintaining all of the raw materials for you to even design, essentially, and constant financial modifications of ordering, processing, and shipping. So again, back to making sure that we are very strong in communication with financial modifications. As we know, international trade changes daily with the dollar value of every country. So that's something that they have to monitor. And also they have to be aware of as we're ordering and processing if it is coming out of international. But we also do have to worry about in the US financial modifications between shipping through regions and the timelines and what time we are ordering at in the year. Now, here are a few job opportunities with the role of the fabric and trim buyer. It is usually incorporated into the assistant designer role. Small businesses do not have these individual careers because they do not usually have the finances to support a singularity of this job. Manufacturing roles in fabric and trimming allow for order process and shipment deliveries. So usually, if it's not within the assistant designer, we see that these manufacturing roles are being taken in by the manufacturer themselves, and they're kind of they're giving and they're providing these fabrics and trims that we can use in our designs. Now we're going to be moving on to a cost and ordering process coordinator. So for their role, it's to ensure the purchase orders are fulfilled on time, coordinate deliveries of material from external vendors. Other roles include data entry, tracking services, and communicating timelines and product shipment deliveries. Now, the roles of the costing and ordering process coordinators are very similar to the fabric and trim buyers and the aspects of ordering and purchasing. Now, we're going to get a little bit deeper into that. So I'm going to hold off on the elaboration a little bit. So for qualifications of a costing and ordering coordinator, it's usually an associate's degree or higher, or at 2-year training at a vocational school, or you can have prior experience in manufacturing. Usually assistants are promoted to coordinators, and that's the latter within the industry. So usually with a coordinator's position, it's more developed to be a internal promotion role just because of companies having specific parameters for their costing and orders, excuse me. Now, helpful traits would be extreme attention to detail, leadership skills, strong vocal and direct communication, and negotiations with contractors and vendors. So we have a lot of similarities happening with the two careers that we are talking about today. But with this one, extreme attention to detail is very important. As the coordinator, there can be almost no mistakes when it comes to auditing all of the inventory and the costings of all of the supplies gathered. Just a missing of one simple order just in receipt or in placing the order in itself can derail the whole process. So it's very important for the coordinators to be categorized and very organized, just as they are extremely attentive to all the details. And with work experience, usually, again, if it's not within an internal promotion, there are internship opportunities, training at vocational schools, and then employment in the manufacturing, which is again another internal. And then all of these positions do come from the assistant position again. So usually the assistant position is just to develop the most qualified person into the position of the coordinator if the opportunity were to arise. All right, and then here's another video that I will be skipping again, but this one is very nice. I did pick it out because it was very quick in describing a lot of the factors that we don't think about when we're thinking about cost of making a garment or even in just production value after the design. All right, some challenges for a coordinator and ordering process coordinator, my bad, a cost and order process coordinator. So they're highly analytical and organizational. It's a fast-paced process, reworking of financials due to international exchange, review and auditing of ordering and delivery timelines, and communication between vendors, language barriers, negotiating best pricing and shipping capabilities. So again, there are dualities with the two careers here, but with the coordinator, it's very imperative that they are doing the best they can to get the best prices, the quickest timelines, the best shipments, and they're doing this all with almost a charm to them so that it comes very easily because you do not want to compromise your relationship with the vendor or manufacturer just based off of what you could gain. It's very imperative that they keep all of their options open just in case there may be any orderings that may need to be done that they can fulfill with other contractors. Some more challenges of a cost and ordering process coordinator is stressful timeline in ordering. So it's very imperative that ordering, if they are in charge and if this position is a singular position in the company, it's imperative that ordering is done on time. If any delays it could derail the whole production process. And as as I just said, it goes into the next point. Production delayed leads to necessary production communication. So this means that they do have to communicate these delays to the next stage of the production process, just so that everybody is aware and we are not losing any time, which losing time is losing money at all times. They must understand finances and update global marketing orderings. So making sure that they're aware of the global market and how it's functioning day to day, maintaining relationships and beneficial operations between vendors. So again, this can also lead into language barriers. So this is a challenge for a coordinator to understand how will they communicate the needs and of the necessities of the company, and auditing, copious ordering, summaries, and categorizing. So making sure that they are organized with all of our orderings and that they have the proper information needed to always check up and track shipments, deliveries, or any communications needed between vendors. Now, here's a slide of differences between the two. So fabric and trim buyers, again, are going to focus mainly on sourcing, trimmings, and fabrics. They're in control of trimming and fabric ordering, if applicable. If this is a smaller company, again, usually that would be left to the assistant buyer or a coordinator if all positions are not available. They also inspect and test various appliques and raw materials, again, just to make sure that the manufacturer is upholding a quality that suits the company, developing production timeline based on shipment and delivery of orders, and track and communicate delays if at any occur. Now, for a cost and order processing coordinator, accessing, I love that word, and filing all recordable shipment orders, communicates and updates shipment and delivery statuses between manufacturers, accumulating company spendings and sourcing prices, negotiate and source highest value manufacturer, observe and carefully plan shipment and production schedule, and immediately reaction to resolve manufacturer delay or shipment delays. So between the two comparisons of these two slides, you do see that the fabric and trim buyer is very solidified and only handling the fabric and trim selection of seasonal prints and all that good stuff. So we don't have in the cost and order processing side of the career, you see that they're in a more macro view of the whole process, and they're taking care of orders of all types, not just singular to the fabric and trim. It also can go out to a lot of other things, and a lot of other little accessories or whatever garments may need or whatever shipments they need. So between the two, I feel like cost and order processing coordinators are very holistic in the process, and they're always going to be in the process calculating and auditing, rather than a fabric and trim buyer who is going to be kind of fixated and focused on the seasonal prints and fabrics of the year and the trims that will perfectly adorn with it. And that's the end of my slide. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you.